Dear students, let us consider vector relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. See, already in the previous video we considered this separately in the scalar form and in the vector form. So once again let us consider the relation in vector form. See here, a particle is, see, when a rigid body is rotating about a fixed axis, that is along z axis, see here we have seen here a rigid body is moving along z axis. So it is rotation about a fixed axis. A body is rotating about a fixed axis about z. So then if you consider a particle inside the body, as this body is rotating about the fixed axis, this particle will describe a circle around the axis of rotation, and at any place its linear velocity is shown by a tangent to the circle, like this. The velocity vector lies in the horizontal plane, and now as it is moving around z axis, along the axis of rotation lies omega, that is angular velocity or angular speed. So like that. So now here, now let us consider the see here, as the rigid body is rotating about a fixed axis, a particle in it is describing a circle around the axis of rotation. Now let us write omega cross r in advance. Omega cross r. See, omega is angular velocity and it is always along the axis of rotation, and r is position vector. This is position vector. See, this is origin point. Position vector always points from origin point to the particle point. So this is r. Now omega cross r is equal to omega cross r. This position vector, you get this position vector by adding this vector and this vector addition. See, this vector is omega, this vector is Cp. See, omega plus Cp gives you r. So in place of r you can write OC plus Cp. OC plus Cp is equal to OP. So in place of r you are writing OC plus Cp. So now omega cross OC plus omega cross Cp by distributive property, because cross product obeys distributive property. Omega cross AC, omega and OC both are in the same direction, then the angle between these two vectors is 0, sin 0 0, therefore this becomes 0, plus omega cross Cp. This is omega, this is Cp. See, let us shift this omega vector here, from here to here, and let us shift the Cp vector from here to here. See, omega and Cp, the plane formed by omega vector and Cp vector is a vertical plane, and now omega cross Cp means you should move the right hand screw from omega to Cp, Cp. That is clockwise. If you move the screw clockwise, see, if you move the screw clockwise, it will move forward. So the cross product of these two gives, first of all, by taking cross product of this, the vector coming will be perpendicular to the plane formed by this. it is see, this is a vertical plane, so the vector will lie perpendicular to this plane, that is, it will lie in the horizontal plane, and so that is nothing but v, because here v is always lying in the horizontal plane and this is perpendicular to this vertical plane. So in place of omega cross Cp you write v, and it is away, see, it is away from us. So here the vector perpendicular to this plane, and since if you move the screw from omega to Cp, it will move away from you. So perpendicular to this plane and away from you is nothing but v only. Therefore here in place of that you write v. It means v is equal to omega r. Now let us solve this problem. The angular speed of a motor wheel is increased from, angular speed is given, say here n0 is equal to 1200 rpm and n is equal to 3120 rpm. Time in 16 seconds. In 16 seconds. What is its angular acceleration? What is its angular alpha? Alpha is equal to how much? That is asked here. So now omega naught is equal to 2 pi n naught by t. 2 pi into 1200 divided by t. Time means rotations per minute. Minute means 60 seconds. So we get 40 pi radians per second. 2 pi n by t. Now angular acceleration, this is defined as alpha is equal to delta w by delta d. See, initial value omega naught, final value omega. So change in omega means omega minus omega naught by delta t. Omega 104 pi minus 40 pi by delta t 16 seconds. That is equal to, with 4 pi radian by second scale. Now next one. How many revolutions does the engine make during this time? So number of revolutions is asked. So before that, let us find total angular displacement made by the engine. So here second kinematic equation is, say, S is equal to ut plus half at square for linear motion. For rotational motion, in place of linear displacement we get angular displacement. Initial velocity means initial angular velocity. Acceleration means angular acceleration. So omega naught omega naught value 40 pi into t 16 seconds. Alpha value 4 pi. T means 16 square. So in this way we get 1152 pi radians. But see here, a particle, if it makes one rotation, the angle it describes is 2 pi radians. So 2 pi radians is equal to 1 revolution. Then 1152 pi radians is equal to how many revolutions? 1152 pi by 2 pi into 1. So that is equal to 576 revolutions. Let us do another problem. Angular displacement is given by this expression, and you are asked to find angular velocity and angular acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds. Let us find angular velocity. Angular velocity means omega, that is equal to d theta by dt. d by dt of theta value t cube plus t square plus t plus 1, that is equal to, if you differentiate t cube with respect to t, you get 3t square, and if you differentiate t square, you get 2t, and if you differentiate t with respect to t, you get 1, and if you differentiate a constant with respect to t, you get 0. So you got this much. See, angular velocity at t is equal to 2 seconds is, substitute in place of t 2. (17 radians per second). Next, second one, angular acceleration, that is alpha. Alpha is equal to d omega by dt. d by dt of omega value we got 3t square plus 2t plus 1. So here 3 is a constant. If you differentiate t square, you get 2t. 2, keep it as it is. If you differentiate t with respect to t, you get 1 value, plus constant means 0. So you get 6t plus 2. And angular acceleration at t is equal to 2 seconds is 6 into 2 plus 2, 14 radian per second square. So in this way we do this. What is the linear velocity? Linear velocity is asked. Earth, due to its spinning motion, radius of Earth. So radius of Earth is given. Kilometer means 6,400 into 1 kilometer means 10 power 3 meters. So here r value given, linear velocity is asked. So there is a relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. Relation between linear velocity and angular velocity is v is equal to r omega. R is radius 6,400, 10 power 3 meters into omega. Omega means 2 pi n by t. See, Earth completes one rotation in 24 hours. In 24 hours. Therefore, n is equal to 1 and t is equal to 24 hours. 24 hours means 1 hour 60 minutes, 1 minute 60 seconds. So that we get, how much we get here? Substituting these values here, two pi into n value 1 by t value, so that we get v value 465.5 meter per second. Let us note the data. Ball mass is given and length is given. It revolves in horizontal circle. This is ball. Linear velocity v and angular velocity omega. Now RPM, angular frequency RPM, that is n is equal to 6 RPM. So first, angular velocity is asked. Angular velocity, that is omega, is equal to 2 pi n by t. 2 pi into 6 RPM, 6 rotations per minute, means 60 seconds. So here we get the pi by 5 radian per second. Now second is linear velocity. Linear v is equal to r omega. See, this is r and this is the length of the string, 0.2 meters into omega value pi by 5. So that is equal to, we get 0.1257 meter per second. Now let us consider torque. Torque or moment of force. Torque or moment of force. See here, F is equal to ma. You know, force produces acceleration. Linear force produces linear acceleration in a body. Just like that, analogous to this equation, in rotational motion we have this equation. Here tau is called torque. In place of mass we get moment of inertia, and in place of linear acceleration we get angular acceleration. This is a vector, this is a vector, this is. So here F, force produces acceleration, just like that torque produces angular acceleration in a body. Now let us define the torque. Torque is defined as definition 1. Torque is a cross product of position vector and force. So here its magnitude becomes Rf sin theta, where theta is the angle between R vector and F vector. Now since this is a vector, you should assign direction. So direction of torque is determined by right-handed screw rule. Right-handed screw rule or right-hand rule. Okay. So now this is one definition. See, right-hand rule. See, we will see here, for example, if we consider a wall clock. Let us consider a wall clock. This is a minute's hand, and this minute's hand is moving clockwise. So okay, we consider this wall clock afterwards. Now see, we have given one definition to the torque. Torque is cross product of position vector and force. Its magnitude is Rf sin theta, and direction is decided by right-handed screw rule. See what this right-handed screw rule tells you. When screw is moved from R to F, when the screw is moved from R to F, then see, suppose here, let us see in this diagram, this is position vector, this is force vector, and if you move from R cross F means from R to F you move. So if you move the screw like this, that is clockwise. When the screw is moved clockwise, it gets into the page. Therefore the torque will be perpendicular to the plane formed by R and F, that is the paper plane, and perpendicular to the torque will be perpendicular to the paper plane and into the paper at 90 degrees. Into the paper at 90 degrees the torque will be. When a screw is moved clockwise, the screw gets into the paper. Just like that, torque is pointed into the paper at 90 degrees. Okay. Now the direction is also mentioned. So this is one way of defining. So we can define torque in another way also. How? Just now you wrote tau is equal to Rf sin theta. First you write F, afterwards you write R sin theta. Now let us look at the diagram. See here, this is a plain lamina. Here you have made a small hole and you have, it is hung at this. This is taken as a pivot, and now see, this lamina is hung to a wall, to a vertical wall, making use of this nail. Okay. Now if you apply force, see on the several mass particles are there. Here you have chosen one mass particle having mass here. See, on this mass particle, see its position. The position of the mass particle is represented by position vector. Position vector starts from origin and ends at particle. So this is position vector. And on this you are applying some force. F force is applied. So when you apply the force, then this lamina rotates clockwise. So in this way the torque has turning effect. The torque produces turning effect. It rotates. Okay. Now let us consider this. Torque is equal to F into R sin theta. F means force. Then R sin theta what? See, this is R, this is F. Now if this position vector is in the same direction, same magnitude, shifted forward. So this is R, this is F, both vectors having common tail points. Now the angle between R and F vectors is theta. Okay. Now see, if this is R, if this is theta, so theta is always the angle between R and F, and if this is theta, this also theta, because the opposite angles are equal. Okay. If this in the angle between R and F is theta, and if this is theta, this also theta. Now this is R vector, and see, to this angle theta, this is the opposite side. Therefore if this is R, this becomes R sin theta. Okay. And this R sin theta is a perpendicular drawn from pivot point to the force vector. See, this is the force vector. On to the force vector, r sin theta is nothing but a perpendicular distance. So torque or moment of force about a point O is defined as the product of the force and the perpendicular distance of the point of application of the force from the point O. So force into perpendicular distance, that gives torque. Force into perpendicular distance is equal to torque. So in this way also we define. Now see the same figure. From here it is the plane lamina is hung. Now here you have chosen a mass particle, and on that F force if you apply, it rotates anti-clockwise. Now the position vector from point of pivot to the point of the mass particle, from here to here, position vector, this is the force vector. Now torque is given by tau is equal to Rf sin theta. Now you write R first and F sin theta afterwards. Okay. Previously you wrote F first, R sin theta next. So force into perpendicular distance you wrote there. Now you write R first, next F sin theta next. Okay. Now see here what this F sin theta represents. Let us see in the figure. R is the distance from pivot point to mass particle. This is the distance R. Now what is F sin theta? See, first of all, what is this theta? Theta is angle between R and F vectors. This is R vector. You extend the R in the same direction. This also R. This is F. Both vectors have common tail point here. So the angle between R and F is theta. Okay. So now here this is F. So for this right angle triangle, this is hypotenuse and hypotenuse is F. Now see adjacent to theta will be cos. So if this is F cos theta and this is F sin theta. Okay, this is F cos theta, this is F sin theta. Now R into F sin theta. R into F sin theta. It means you have taken length of the distance from pivot point to mass particle. You have taken this distance multiplied by F sin theta. This is perpendicular component of force. F sin theta is nothing but this is component of force perpendicular to R. Therefore here you have written the same thing, R into perpendicular component of force perpendicular to R. Force perpendicular to R. So torque about O is defined as the product of R, that is distance of particle from O, and perpendicular component of force onto it. The magnitude of torque is given by R is equal to tau is equal to Rf sin theta. So the tau becomes 0 if R is equal to 0 or F is equal to 0 or theta is equal to 0 or 180 degrees. So these are the three options. Okay. Now if R is equal to 0 means what? You are applying force on the axis of rotation. If you apply force on the axis of rotation, the door will not move. Therefore torque becomes 0. Next, F is equal to 0. You do not apply any force means it won't rotate. And theta is equal to 0. Theta is equal to 0 means see here, from the axis of rotation, suppose you choose a particle in the door having mass m, position vector from axis of rotation to that particle r, and the force you are applying. If force applied and position vector are in the same direction, like this, position vector, force are applied in the same direction, that is, force is applied in the direction of position vector, then this door cannot be rotated. Similarly, suppose force is applied in opposite direction to r, suppose, then angle becomes 180 degrees, then also the door cannot be rotated. So like that. Now see, just now we talked about its direction. So if you are moving the door anti-clockwise, for example, if you are moving the door anti-clockwise, so this is right-handed screw. If it is moved anti-clockwise, it comes up. That's why your torque is shown upward along the axis of rotation. Okay, now let us apply force normally on door surface. Suppose you are pushing the door and you are applying force at 90 degrees to the door surface, then theta becomes 90 degrees and sine 91. So when this becomes 1, then tau is equal to RF. Okay, now to understand the importance of torque, let us take let us choose three different positions. This point is 20 centimeter away from axis of rotation, and this point is 40 centimeters away, and this point, the edge of the door, is 80 centimeters away. Okay, now first let us choose this point. On this, normally you are applying some force. How much force you have applied? 80 newtons. The distance is 20 centimeters, 0.2 meters. 0.2 meters into 80, we get how much? 16 Newton meter torque value. Okay, now instead of this point, in second time you apply force here. This point is 40 centimeters away, that is 0.4 meters away. So R value 0.4. So to produce the same rotation, that means to get the same torque, this 0.4 meters must be multiplied by 40 to get this value. So what happened? When you increased the distance, the force requirement decreased. Now, if you apply force on edge, which is far away from the axis of rotation, see, this is 0.8 meters, then to produce the same rotation, just 20 newtons is enough. That's why we usually apply force on edge of the door only, because it is very easy to move the door by applying force on the edge. More the R value, less will be the F to produce the same turning effect. Okay, let us do the problem. Force value is given. When a force of 10 Newton is exerted on the handle of a door, the door can be just opened. If the handle is at a distance of 50 centimeter from the hinges, the axis of rotation. So here R is equal to 50 centimeter, that is 0.5 meter. Find the torque applied on the door. So torque applied on the door is equal to RF sin theta. Here usually the angle is not mentioned, but we apply force at 90 degrees only. So 0.5, F value 10, sine 90, that is equal to 5 Newton meter. A roller of mass 300 kg. This is a roller and its mass is 300 kg. Rests against a step of height 20 centimeters. See, this is a step and its height is 20 centimeters. If the radius of the roller is 50 centimeters, find the force to be applied passing through its center of mass. So this is its center of mass and the force. How much force must be applied to take the roller onto the step? See this, by pulling the roller, it steps onto, it climbs the step. But now, under the action of moments of forces, this roller is at rest. So this roller is at rest means sum of clockwise movements. See, let me write here. The roller is at rest means it suggests that sum of clockwise movements is equal to sum of anti-clockwise movements. Then only it can be at rest. See, clockwise movement, let us consider first clockwise. See, this force produces clockwise movement because by applying this force, this roller rotates like this. So clockwise movement. This force produces clockwise movement. And here moment means force into perpendicular distance. Force into perpendicular distance from this C point. So we are calculating either clockwise movements or anti-clockwise movements about this point C. About C. Here also about C. Because at this C point only it climbs on to the next step. So sum of clockwise movements about C is equal to sum of anti-clockwise movements about C. Now sum of clockwise movements about C, that is right here. Only one force is there producing clockwise movement. So movement is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Force into, from C the perpendicular distance is this CE. CE is equal to. Now anti-clockwise movements. See, this gravitational force is there. Gravitational force provides anti-clockwise movement. Again here, force into perpendicular distance. See, the force mg is vertically downwards and the perpendicular distance is CA. First let us see what is C. C is here. See, this is equation 1. Here CE. CE, see, this is a rectangle. CE is equal to AO. So see here, from here to here, radius of roller 50 centimeters and height of the step is 20 centimeters. So OB minus CD gives OA. So 50 minus 20 is equal to 30. That is 0.3 meter. C, okay, now CA, this. So here this is a this is a right angled triangle. From O to C, OC becomes the radius of the roller, that is 50 centimeters. So OC 50 centimeters. This is 30 centimeters. Just now we calculated OA. OA, EC both are same. OA, CE. So here for this right angle triangle OAC, this is 50 centimeters radius of the roller, and this is 50 minus 20 gives 30. OA 30 centimeters. This is now required. Say this is X. So this is equal to hypotenuse square minus height square under root 40. So AC is equal to 40 centimeters you got. So AC or CA is 40 centimeters or 0.4 meters. Now let us take G value 10 meter per second square. Substituting the values in equation 1, F into CE 0.3, mass 300 kg, G value 10, CA 0.4. So from this you get F value. So we get 4000 newtons. Now let us consider angular momentum of a particle. It is shown by L. Consider a particle of mass m and linear momentum p at a position r relative to origin O. Then angular momentum is defined as cross product of r and p, position vector and momentum vector. Now its magnitude becomes rp sin theta, where theta is the angle between r and p vectors. Now this L becomes 0 when either r is 0 or p is 0 or theta is equal to 0 or 180 degrees. Okay, now see L is equal to 0 if r is equal to 0 means let us see the diagram here. R is equal to 0 means the mass particle will be at the origin. So then the angular momentum actually here L is equal to rp sin theta is the magnitude of the angular momentum. Now this can be written as r into p sin theta or p into r sin theta. See here, if it is written as r into p sin theta, r is the distance from origin to the particle point, and p sin theta is the perpendicular component of momentum onto the position vector. Let us see in the diagram here. See here, the mass particle is considered here. This is the position vector. Position vector starts from origin and ends on the mass particle. This is position vector, and see this is having a linear momentum p is equal to mv, suppose here in this direction. Now let us shift the position vector in the same direction a little forward, such that both tails come in touch with each other. Then the angle between r and p is theta. Now if this is p, Adjacent to the angle will be p cos theta and opposite will be p sin theta. See, this is the r vector and this is component of p at 90 degrees to the r. So linear angular momentum is defined as product of r value and perpendicular component of p or component of p perpendicular to r. See here, angular momentum is defined as product of r and perpendicular and component of p perpendicular to r. This can be defined in another way also. This can be written as p into r sin theta. Now p is linear momentum, r is perpendicular distance. Let us see in this diagram here. Mass particle, position vector moved forward. Now this is momentum vector, angle between momentum vector and r is theta. Now see here, if this is, let us draw a perpendicular from tip of the r vector to momentum vector. Now you got a right angle triangle. This is theta. Adjacent to theta will be, since this is